Alexander the Great once said, "There is nothing impossible to they who will try." Good evening, energetic Toastmasters and enthusiastic guests. I am Toastmaster Anurag and I am the Sergeant at Arms for the evening. I welcome you all to the 97th meeting of VirtuoMasters Club. Can we have a huge round of applause? Now, to have a smooth meeting, we have some ground rules. First, put yourself on mute when you are not speaking. Kindly do not write anything inappropriate in the chat box. If your video is on, make sure you sit in a proper upright position. We do not talk about sex, religion, or politics in a derogatory manner. I would request you to kindly put your phone on silent mode or switched off mode so that you don't get distracted during the meeting. As everybody in life has a goal, a mission to achieve. Likewise, VirtuoMasters Club also has a mission. The mission of our club is to provide a supportive and positive learning environment in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I would like to hand over the podium to someone who possesses the simplicity and unsophistication of a child. He is a man with a golden heart. He is none other than the president of our club. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Amrish.
Thank you, Anurag, for such a kind words for me. And all we know that tomorrow is the birthday of our Netaji. And he had told, one individual may die for an idea, but that idea will, after his death, incarnate itself into many lives. And what idea has given? He has given told that freedom is not given, it is taken. And today also we are fighting to get freedom from many things. It's not like we have to get out from British rule, but we want to get out from our bad habits, bad environment, bad circle. We have to fight for that. We have to fight to take that. And still we are doing that to make our life better. I want to talk about one different idea. Many of us has read about law of attraction, that if you attract something, it will come to you in your life. But is it possible that we are sitting on a couch and waiting to be a person like fit body person, or like if you want to eat something, it will come to you directly? There must be two things. One, you have to think, and second, you have to do some action for that. I am sure when the fight of freedom was there, people have thought about it and people have worked on it. That is, without any action, no law, no attraction can come to your life. That is my personal thought, and any thought must be supported by action, whether it is in our life, professional life, personal life. Like we are in Toastmaster also, we want to give a speech, but if we are not prepared, we will not connect to our mentors. In that case, our action is not supporting to our determination, to our Toastmaster goals. That is why we always need to support our decisions with the action. Now, proceeding further, let me check and talk to some guests. One I had seen, CA Deepa Agarwal. Deepa, are you a Toastmaster or a guest?
Yeah, I'm a guest. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Even.
Okay, I want to know from whom you know about the Toastmaster and what you are doing.
Sir, I know about your whole seminar and workshop, whatever you call it, from Sweta Kesan.
Okay.
She's my friend. So from her, I know about all these things.
And what
Thank
are
you.
you doing, ma'am? It will better if you can switch your camera, switch on your camera.
Yes, sir, I can. Actually, there is some issue in my eyes. That's why I'm not opening this camera.
Yes, yes.
Actually, there is swelling in my eyes. That's why I'm just not opening that.
Okay, okay. No issue. What are you doing, ma'am? Can you please
I'm
continue?
practicing chartered accountant, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm
Practicing
practicing
is a chartered accountant.
not fully.
Okay, okay. That's great. I am also a chartered accountant for your knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. Because of my kid, right
Okay.
now he's too small. That's why I'm not able to do lots of work. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay. It's okay, Deepaji. And I hope you will enjoy the meeting today.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, it is the time to welcome our Toastmaster of the day who will share the theme. Whenever there is a talk of any special day like Republic Day, Independence Day, like Netaji's birthday, a person who always had different view on any special day, patriotic day, we always remember Toastmaster Asutosh as one of the person who always celebrate these days as something different, something special. Let me welcome with him with a thunderous round of applause.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amrish Bhuwania. Let us hear it out for our president, Toastmaster Amrish Bhuwania. Thank you, sir. Thanks so much for your kind words. And I sincerely appreciate your continuous support and encouragement. And let me tell you, you have actually created pressure on me now. So thanks again. Good afternoon, my fellow Toastmasters and respected guests. We, the people of India, in the month of November 1949, Constituent Assembly decided to adopt our constitution. And our constitution starts with the preamble, which says, we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice, liberty, and equality. It promises us justice, liberty, and equality. I have a question here for you. Although our Constituent Assembly adopted the Constitution or approved the Constitution in November 1949, do you know why did they wait until 26th of January to actually implement the Constitution? Anyone?
So it was because previously by Indian National Congress, it was decided that the independence, India would get independent on 26th of January, but it did not happen. So to commemorate that day, it was decided that Republic Day will be celebrated on 26th of November, January, 26th of January.
Thanks so much, Toastmaster Raitro, for giving us that background. And let me take you back in time and tell you a little bit about our very own Sri Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who played a very important role in declaration of this independence, which Arithro was speaking about. So actually, it was the Lahore session of Indian National Congress in the year 1930, where they came up with this manifesto and they said, India need to be a sovereign nation and not just a dominion. If you do not understand the difference, let me try and tell you. Before 1930, everyone was talking that India should become a dominion within Britain. So India remains part of Britain, but most of the rules will be made by Indians. It was only in 1930, after huge effort from Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, that Indian National Congress came out with this manifesto that they want to have full independence. It was in 1928 when everyone was against Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, that We do not want full independence. We still want to remain dominion. And that's when a lot of history is there. I don't want to get into that. And it took him effort of these 2 years. In fact, for the first time, when he moved this motion, his motion was defeated. And in 1929, when he moved the motion that India should become fully independent, India was not it was not adopted by Indian National Congress. Only in 1930, that's when they adopted it. And that's why this 26th January is so important. And this manifesto was declared in the city of Lahore on the banks of Ravi. The question is, the oath which was taken by Indians about this full independence, have we achieved it? Have we got it? I know it's a very heated discussion which we can have about it, and today it's just me who is going to speak most of the time, but I will really welcome if any one of you want to air out of your opinion. I'll be more than happy to listen to them. But before we do that, I think it's really very important that we look at the structure of our today's meeting. So like our constitution promises three things to us: justice, liberty, also normally have three sections. First is the prepared speech section. Next is the table topic section, and then comes the evaluation section. So in our prepared speech section, we are going to have three speakers who are going to come and deliver their speeches to us. In table topic section, this is the section where we invite audience to volunteer, come up, and they will have the liberty to speak on stage on a topic chosen by our table topics master. And the third section, the most important one, is where our general evaluator will come and share the evaluation, so that share her observation and ideas, so that our meetings can even become better and better. Friends, our general evaluator for the evening is a affable person. She is member of Toastmasters Club. With a huge round of applause, I will request you to welcome Toastmaster Shruti Srivastav. Before I hand it over to her, I just quickly want to tell you, when I asked her this question, that Shruti, can you fill in these blanks for me? We the people of India. And what she told me was that, Ashutosh, we the people of India are free and we have the choice to exercise our agency to understand the difference between right and wrong and take appropriate actions. Friends, it's in our hand to take right actions. With that, I will like to invite Toastmaster Shruti Srivastav with a huge round of applause. Toastmaster Shruti Srivastav, please introduce your team and your team members' role in today's meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashutosh, and I am elated to be a part of this meeting. And with this, I welcome you all to this meeting of Virtual Toastmasters Club. And please help me welcome my team. But before I tell you, I want to tell you two things about this, my role. In the journey of Toastmasters, it's always important that you are always evolving and you are always learning. And it's important that you evolve and learn in two ways: by being a leader and also in your delivering speeches part. So I will be helping you with the part which is the latter one, the delivering speeches part. So I will have a role of team players that are known as tag role players. The first role player who is coming up on stage is the timer. I would request Toastmaster Krishnesh to come on stage and explain his role to the audience.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, and my dear Toastmasters. As the timer today, my role will be to keep a tab of time of all the speakers, evaluators who come up on the stage, who take the virtual podium. I will be using green, yellow, and red screens to show the various times. For table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. I will be showing the green at 1 minute, yellow at 1:30, and red at 2 minutes. For evaluations, where speakers get 2 to 3 minutes, I will be showing the green at 2, yellow at 2:30, and red at 3 minutes. We also have an icebreaker speech today, for which the time limit is 4 to 6 minutes, where the green light will come on at 4 minutes, yellow at 5, and red at 6 minutes. For the other speeches of 5 to 7 minutes, I will have the green light at 5, yellow at 6, and red light at 7 minutes. I will give the report when called upon to do so. Thank you, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. How will you be displaying the time cards?
I will be using my virtual background. So,
okay. All right. Thank you so much. Moving forward, I would now like to call someone who is probably the spine of your language, because they count the gaps in your language and they are known as the R counter. And please help me welcome and put your hands together for Toastmaster Amrish, who is the R counter for today.
Hello everyone. I'm the R counter for today, and I will keep track on the clutch word used by every speaker. Clutch word like or, so, like, long pause, short pause, and I'll submit my report when called upon to do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amrish. And with this, we move forward to the third and the final tag role play of today. And we have Toastmaster Kshitij, who will be taking care of the rib cage of your language, because that is the grammar. Because if that is not right, your language will not make any sense. So please put your hands together and welcome Toastmaster Kshitij on stage as the grammarian of the day.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Do you know that when I heard the theme, which is We the People of India, I noticed a few resemblance with something that I used to read multiple times on the first page of my NCERT books. Yes, it is the starting of the preamble to the Constitution of India. We the people of India, it was something like that. I do not remember the full thing, but it included liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice. Dear friends, these four values form the fundamental of our Constitution. In a similar way, a proper usage of grammar forms the fundamental of your speech. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am Toastmaster Kshitij, the grammarian of this session, and my role is to keep a note on some good and some not so good uses of English language. And also, it is my duty to introduce you all to the word of the day, which is liberty. It is a noun, and the meaning of this word is the state of being free or the power of a choice. The synonyms of this word is independence, freedom, and free will. An example in a sentence would be the table topic section gives you the liberty to speak your mind. I would urge the speakers and the users of the virtual podium to use the word of the day as many times as possible, and they will be rewarded with a virtual applause. With this, I will be presenting my report at the end of the session. Thank you, and over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. Would request Toastmaster Kshitij to place the word of the day in the chat section so that we all are reminded to use it. Amazing. Thank you. With this, I hand over the podium back to Toastmaster Ashutosh, who will be teaching us about We the People of India. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashutosh.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. First of all, I don't think I am good enough or equipped enough to teach anyone anything over here. We all are people of India, and we all need to learn from each other, and we all need to ensure that we are fulfilling our fundamental duties to ensure that our brothers and sisters get the fundamental which has been promised by our constitution: justice, liberty, and equality. And thank you so much to my grammarian, Kshitij, for keeping this word liberty. And I can probably bet that I am going to be the one who will use this word, who will use word liberty in the most liberal way, or with a lot of liberty, not in a liberal way, but in a lot of liberty, so that you will probably stop giving the virtual applause as I take liberty of using this word liberty more and more and more and more. All right, with that, we are here to start our first section, and that's prepared speech section. As our timer said, we are going to have 3 speeches today. But before I invite the first evaluator, I just want to share and talk a little bit about justice. Friends, it was the night of 18th and 19th January 1989, which is when a lot of our brothers in Kashmir had to flee Kashmir, leaving all their belongings, all their properties, everything, and stay somewhere else. And you know what's most interesting? They still haven't gone back to Kashmir Valley. I'm talking about 70,000 Kashmiri Pandits who had to flee Kashmir because of various issues which different countries and different political parties and different people have got. Those 70,000 Kashmiri Pandits had nothing to do with it. They were not fighting about it every day. They had to flee their place. My question to all of you today is that justice? Are we keeping up with the promises we, the people of India, made to ensure that everyone in our nation is going to get social, economic, and political justice? Who is talking about them? No one. Nobody is interested in them. They are in political parties are interested in votes. So they sometimes talk about it depending on what season it is, but nobody is truly interested in their well-being. And what are we doing about it as citizens? Anyways, I'm going to leave this question with all the august audience here today and decide what they think about it. But still, I would like to say one thing. Justice delayed is not justice denied. And I have full faith in the constitution which has been written by our forefathers. And I have full faith that it is capable enough that we can still deliver justice to our brothers and sisters who have to leave their homes, their belongings, their place, wherever in India. If they have faced injustice, our constitution is capable of delivering them justice. And if we can do something about it, if we, the people of India, can do something about it to ensure the justice, let's do that. With that, I will like to invite our first speaker. And before that, I will like to invite our first evaluator. And when I asked him, fill in the blanks, that we, the people of India, and he said that we, the people of India, are responsible to make this country great again and make this the golden bird which it has always been. With that, I will like to invite our first evaluator, Toastmaster Ayanangshu. Toastmaster Ayanangshu.
I think Toastmaster Ashutosh, you are mistaken. Our first evaluator is Toastmaster Reema. You are muted. Toastmaster Ashutosh, you are on mute.
So sorry for the mistake. Let me invite our first evaluator, Toastmaster Reema.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Good evening, everyone. The speaker is going to give his icebreaker speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Timer, please note, the speech length is 4 to 6 minutes. I will request everyone after the speaker deliver his speech to please switch on your mic and give him a round of applause. All the best to the speaker. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashutosh.
So much, Toastmaster Reema, and my sincere apologies for making that blunder. I know it was not doing the justice, but I was taking the liberty of being Toastmaster, and I read the incorrect list and invited Toastmaster Ayanangshu by mistake. I hope I get the speaker right this time. And the speaker who is going to come and speak is Toastmaster Abhijit.
Yes.
Yep. When I asked Toastmaster Abhijit that tell me about your opinion, then he said that we, the people of India, have the equality of status and opportunity. Professional one. Interesting take. With that, I'll hand it over to Toastmaster Abhijit. Toastmaster Abhijit, your icebreaker speech. Thank you.
Knock, knock. A very good evening to all the Toastmasters and my dear guests. My name is Abhijit, and today I'm going to give my icebreaker. Okay, so excerpts of ABCD. Well, it's a suspense. I will get back to you later on at the end of the meeting, at the end of the speech. Till then, sip in some water and enjoy the suspense. My age is 25. Well, am I aged or am I young? Another suspense. But this suspense will not be revealed. So, yes, it was the year 2001, 4 years after my birth. We moved to the steel city of India, that is Jamshedpur. One thing amazed me. India has a population of million, and that particular city had a very vast cosmopolitan environment. People were multi-talented. With that note, there is also a point that we have the legendary Kinnan Stadium, where the captain cool Mahendra Singh Dhoni made his debut century against Pakistan. But yes, coming to Mahendra Singh Dhoni, we can have one. I myself inspired to do something related to cricket. My age was 14. I decided to appear for the under 16 trials. It was a very tough challenge, but I wanted to grab that opportunity. I appeared for it, and fortunately, I was a batsman. I went on fourth down and I scored 92 runs in that particular trial match. Wow, what a joy it was. Not only me, my relatives yelled with joy. They were pretty happy that a boy, like a boy from middle class, simply took that opportunity to utilize that particular platform. After 3-4 days, it was the final match. Yes, the test. I was all charged up, but we all are aware that few dreams do remain unturned. I just scored 6 runs in that particular match. Yes, I was extremely disappointed, but life has to move on. If we are failing somewhere, we need to grab opportunity some other way. With that note, I went forward, and in the year 2013, we moved to the city of joy, which is Kolkata. Apart from the delicious fish fingers, you can say the culture, the heritage amazed me. I took admission in DPS Ruby, a recognized CBSE school. I was all set to appear for my 12th examination. And it was a cherry on the cake. My father was promoted as an assistant manager in Indian Oil. We all were happy. That particular day, I realized that I got such a lucky father who always inspired me in each and every phase of life. Now, coming to the last phase, the graduation. Yes, the graduation. I took admission in Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, Bhubaneswar, as an electronics engineer. But yes, we are into engineering, so we always need to opt for that particular field which is most demanding. So I took certain training on Java and Python. I got a brilliant tutor who not only taught me coding, but also taught me the philosophy in life on how to excel yourself. With that, I learned from him, I gained from him, and eventually mastered in coding. And today I'm working as a Java stack developer in an IT company located in Bangalore. Life has always provided me happiness, ladies and gentlemen. It's always said that we need to utilize it at our very best. Every section of people, lawyer, teacher, doctor, everybody plays an integral role in my part, in my life. I was in a kind of doubt. How am I going to socialize in my life? But I decided to simply move on, be a part of Toastmasters, and today I got that opportunity to deliver my icebreaker speech. So, wisdom is always entertaining, and we all should grow together to increase that wisdom a bit more higher. Now, I said earlier that there is a suspense of ABCD. So, ABCD, it's Abhijit Bose's complete diary. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abhijit. Am I audible? All right, thank you so
Yeah,
much. On a lighter note, just want to say you one thing, Toastmaster Abhijit. When uh, I just joined organization, I met a gentleman who was almost 40 years old from Hong Kong, and I complimented him that uh, you look so young. And then he said that, Ashutosh, when you are young, you should look old, and when you're old, you should actually look young. I leave it on you to decide why he said this, but thank you so much for your amazing speech today. With that, I would like to invite our next speaker. And before I invite our next speaker, I would like to invite the evaluator of our next speaker, DTM Abhishek Mitra. DTM Abhishek Mitra.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Uh, the second speaker for today is delivering her level 2 speech from her pathway presentation mastery. And the purpose of this project is for the member to deliver a speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how she uses non-verbal communication when delivering a speech. Timer, please note the speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, evaluator DTM Abhishek Mitra, for explaining the project so well. Now, before I invite our next speaker, when I asked him about today's theme, and he told me that, Ashutosh, we the people of India are blessed to be in a place which is so diverse, and we should do our best to ensure that unity in diversity stays on. With that, without further delay, I will like to invite our next speaker, Toastmaster Shaumya. Toastmaster Shaumya.
Year 2013, TCS Kolkata. A strange email caught my attention. It said, join us for a Toastmasters session. I had no clue what a Toastmaster was, but the icons of a mic, a podium on a stage, the audience standing up to give the speaker a standing ovation, and a glittering trophy in the corner definitely had me intrigued. But sadly, with the amount of routine work that was dumped on me day after day, I forgot to dig deep on this mysterious email. Fast forward a year more, 2014, TCS Bhubaneswar. Over tea and a smoke, my friend Sanat said, Oi, Sun, there's this thing called Toastmasters here in this office where people like you who like to all the time they get together to connect. Why don't you give it a try? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, that is when my tryst with Toastmasters began. Let me tell you what a typical day at Toastmasters looks like. You're seated in a corner, minding your own business, not wanting to get noticed at all, but then suddenly this table topics master shines the spotlight on you, makes you stand in a spot, pushes you to think hard on your feet and speak for at least a minute. Now you are rooted to the spot with perspiration, beads of perspiration trickling down your cheeks at the rear, your throat scratching with ahs, ums, but no words come to your rescue at all. Have you ever felt a minute feel like an hour? I know I have. But with the more number of sessions I attended, I really fell in love with the company of community of like-minded individuals that were there, who were constantly rooting for me, appreciating me, and applauding me for each and every tiny baby step that I took. And then there was this feeling of getting to be my own boss. I mean, I was at complete liberty to choose a topic of my own with nothing being shoved down my throat. I could speak about anything under the sun and pace my own deadlines accordingly. That feeling was great. And then came the moment of learning about the sandwiched constructive feedback. I mean, before Toastmasters, the only feedback I knew of was, if Sharmaji's son can do this, why can't you? Never knew that feedback could be so well rounded, so positive, so self affirming, and balanced. And then, of course, there's certificates and contests. I mean, club level contest, area level, district level, division level, some other contest, best role taker, best this, best that. They literally give you a certificate or a ribbon to make you feel happy about breathing and just existing. You'll never feel low and demotivated in life, I tell you. So I fell in love with all these reasons with Toastmasters. And I got so hooked on that I completed my competent communicator track before I moved out of TCS. I joined MBA in HR in Xavier's Institute of Management, Bhubaneswar, later on in 2015. And it took almost the entire first year to convince the college board, my professors, my seniors at the Oratory Club, my peers to pitch in and start Toastmasters. But in 2016, we were successfully able to charter the club with the membership standing at a whooping 55 members at one point of time. It was amazing. And I got to complete my competent leadership track and my advanced leadership bronze track. Those were the names that were there at that time. Year 2017, I moved out of college. I joined Aditya Birla Group's leadership program at Mumbai. I tried my best to find a lot of clubs, community clubs in my area, near the office or near my home. But in the hustle bustle of the new city and the demands of the new job, I couldn't make it. A year later, 2018, I got posted at Jayashree Textiles Rishra in the outskirts of Calcutta. There also, I tried convincing my best. I tried convincing the CEO and the COO of the benefits of Toastmasters. Again, it took me like a year's struggle. But finally, in the summer of 2019, we were able to charter the first ever Toastmasters Club of Aditya Birla Group, where people from freshers and new joiners got trained to make the transition from campus to corporate, and where sales and marketing folks got to practice their product pitches. It was great, actually. Year 2020 was difficult for everyone as we know it. The tightening of budgets and purse strings happened, increased work pressure was there, COVID-19 had affected us all, and the club succumbed to it. Here, I stand before you after 2 years, from 2020 to 2022. And in my journey with Toastmasters, since my tryst with Toastmasters began, like I mentioned, it has never been a consistent one. It has been discontinuous, with moments of discontent and disengagement strewn across the pathway. But there's just some ineffable reason because of which I keep coming back to Toastmasters. Even I don't know what exactly it is. Currently, with Toastmasters, I can't exactly say what my long-term goals are, but I think I'll be lying if I said that I've never imagined myself lifting up the World Championship of Public Speaking trophy like a WWE wrestler over my head and giving a fake acceptance speech in front of the mirror. I think all of us have done that. But apart from that, my short-term goals with Toastmasters are pretty clear. Complete the presentation mastery pathway by the end of April. And fair warning to all the VMC folks here, that scheduler is going to get filled with my name. So all of those who have been procrastinating to deliver your speech projects, just watch out. Toastmaster forever. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shaumya, for such a wonderful, bringing Toastmaster everywhere in every part of your life. And all my best wishes. I will also love to see you holding that Toastmaster best trophy and like a WWF or WWE wrestler. All my best wishes for that. Thank you so much for this wonderful speech. With that, now we will like to move on to our third speaker. And before I invite our third speaker, I would like to invite our evaluator for the third speaker, Toastmaster Anurag. Toastmaster Anurag.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm back as the evaluator for the third speaker. So, the said speaker is delivering his project 2, level 1 from the pathways. And the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to present the speech and receive the feedback from the evaluator. Timer, please note that the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. And I would like to take this liberty to wish my speaker all the best for his speech today. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
So much, Toastmaster Anurag, for using the liberty which our constitution has given in the most appropriate way. With that, I would like to invite our next speaker, Toastmaster Arithro. And when I asked him about today's theme, he said, Ashutosh, we the people of India are rooted to the ground with branches reaching for the sky. Thank you so much, Arithro, for for sharing such a wonderful thought. With that, I would like to invite our next speaker, Toastmaster Arithro, whose speech title is Temple of Enlightenment. Temple of Enlightenment, Toastmaster Arithro.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good afternoon, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. I am about to share a memory which I dearly cherish. Let me begin. Towards the end of my engineering, I went to Farakka for my internship. And the tenure of it was of 3 weeks. It is a small industrial town towards the north of Kolkata. During our internship, on a weekend, we decided to travel to an offbeat place. Apparently, it was a tourist attraction spot. With no planning, we hit the road running. And we immediately encountered numerous speed breakers, both figuratively and literally. In an overcrowded bus, we traveled to the station first. Then when we got on the train, we found no place to sit. Then we got down and we had to take a vehicle which would take us to the spot. We waited there for 30 minutes and there was no vehicle in sight. When we finally got a vehicle, it was an old tempo which was barely held together by the magic of an insanely talented repair mechanic. It took us around 20-25 minutes to reach the spot. Finally, we have reached our destination. And to my amazement, it was ordinary at the most. It was an old temple in the middle of nowhere. It was an old temple in the middle of knee-high shrubs. And the approach road to it was winding and uneven. It was nowhere close to the pictures of it that Google showed us. And it was evident no one cared to make it look like that either. Anyway, we went inside to have some prasad, but were not offered any. We thought to ourselves, what is this place? What is this place? I mean, even the priest looks like an atheist. Anyway, we thought to come out and explore the place further. We were just roaming around. We were cracking jokes. We were clicking pictures. We were contemplating on the easiest way to complete our report that we had to submit to complete the internship. I was beginning to mildly enjoy myself when I noticed it was getting cloudy. The wind was picking up. And without a warning, the skies opened up. It started to rain cats and dogs. In a hurry, we went against our common sense and we took shelter under a lone tree, which was which we found near us. We waited there for some time, and the rain showed no sign of stopping. The raindrops were getting bigger, the thunder was getting louder, and the wind was getting angrier. So we finally decided to pay heed to our common sense, and decided to go to the temple, which would be our safe haven now. The approach road was so narrow that all of us could not run together. So we had to take turns. So we held our breath, we prepared ourselves for what is about to come, and then we made a run, turn by turn. Against the tree, we stood and we began. Anuj, 1, 2, 3, run. Dipayan, 1, 2, 3, run. Karan, 1, 2, 3, run. Finally, Oritro, 1, 2, 3, run. I ran like my life depended on it. I ran through rain, through wind, through forest. Something clicked and I stopped. I closed my eyes, I spread my arms, and I gave in. I felt the rain caressing me. I felt the wind trying to lift me up. I was liberated. I was free. I was at peace. I was in no hurry. I casually strolled towards the temple. And when this erstwhile boring temple revealed itself, it was breathtakingly beautiful. It was picturesque. It had a glint to it because of the rain it has been receiving. I entered the temple. It had no light. The only illumination was through the light that the temple door allowed in. And in that dim light, I appreciated the intricate carvings and the paintings that were present in the temple. It was mesmerizing. I stayed that in that moment, appreciating the beauty of this masterpiece. And the sound of and the smell of fresh petticoat, the earthly scent, filled up my senses, and the sound of the rain hitting the roof provided a soundtrack to all of this. Finally, the sky cleared up and we decided to return. As expected, we again found no vehicle for a good 20-30 minutes, but it did not bother us this time. Finally, a crowded tempo came and we decided to hop onto its roof. This journey was a cherry on top of the cake. The weather was very pleasant. It was neither too sunny nor too cloudy. The wind was pleasant. Everything looked greener. We were singing, we were smoking, and we were having a blast. That is how the trip ended. And now that I reflect upon it, I think it was just a regular place, the name of which I am purposefully ignoring. It was just a regular place which we saw in a different light. In general, in life, we many a times find ourselves in difficult and unpleasant situations and places. And it is not bad because it is not bad on an absolute scale. It is often bad because of our outlook towards it. What we probably need to do is maybe see it in a different light. What do you think, Toastmaster of the day?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Arithro, for such wonderful, showing, enlightening us with your temple of enlightenment. It was absolutely fantastic hearing that. With that, let's move on to the next section of our today's meeting. But before we do that, I think it will not be the justice with the august audience today if I do not accept the blunder which I did, and I think I didn't announce, not I think, I didn't announce the name, the speech title of our first two wonderful speakers. So I will just like to tell that name so that everyone in this meeting is aware of that. So our first speaker, Toastmaster Avijit's speech title was Excerpts of ABCD, and second speaker, Toastmaster Soumya's speech title was Triest with Toastmasters. My sincere apologies again for doing this blunder. With that, we are now ready to move on to the next section of our meeting. And before we do that, I just want to remind you about the second thing which we promised each other we are going to provide to each one of us. And that's liberty. Our constitution promises the liberty of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, and worship. But before we go too far, I just want to ask one question to everyone here in this meeting. Is it also giving us liberty to speak against our nation? Is this something which also gives us liberty to support someone who actually attacked the temple of our democracy? Going back in time again, if we look at February, I think 2012, that's when there were a few who were supporting and who were mourning the death of terrorists like Afzal Guru who attacked on our parliament. I'm not here to make any decision, and I don't think even I have got that acumen to make a decision. But I would like to leave all of you with this question. This liberty at what cost? All right, so let's move on, and I will take this liberty to invite our table topic master for the day. And when I asked her that what does she think about we the people of India, and then she said, and very interesting one, that we the people of India are lucky to be Indian, and we still live in a family which believes in maa ka nazar utarna. I don't know how to do that, but I also believe in that. By the way, I absolutely believe in that, and I still ask my mother to do it whenever my daughters fell ill. And when we get sick, and we enjoyed clapping during the lockdown. With that, I would like to invite our lovely table topic master for the day, Toastmaster Shilpa. Toastmaster Shilpa, stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. So, as per the theme, I would just like to say that India is tagged as the mother of so many inventions like algebra, number zero, shampoo, chess, value of pi, and diamond mining. It's nothing related to the table topic session, but I just said because this was a thing I get to know today. So not wasting much time, let's come to the table topic session. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. I am your table topic master for the day. A table topic session is an impromptu session where I will give you a topic and you have to speak on that topic. Let me tell you rules of the timing for the table topic. The speaker will get 1 to 2 minutes time to speak. The timer will show green card at 1 minute, yellow at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. Please note, you will get 30 seconds grace period only on the higher side. I would request everyone to participate in this session as it helps in developing quick listening, quick thinking, organizing, and delivering skills. So who would like to first volunteer? You can volunteer in the chat box, or okay, you can raise your hands. So Dr. Rupesh Singh, I can see him volunteering. I will call only 4 participants today. One is Dr. Rupesh Singh, who is wearing orange. One I would call someone who is wearing green. One I will call who is wearing white, and one I will call who is wearing blue. So people who are wearing orange, you have missed your chance. Okay, topic for you, Dr. Rupesh ji. No real change in history has been achieved by discussions. Dr. Rupesh Singh, no real change in history has been achieved by discussions.
My dear fellow Toastmasters, now to be Toastmasters in this digital world. Discussion is not the only solution. I'm not fully agree with the thoughts, but when the picture of Netaji comes, so then I'll say discussion is not required. Action is required. And this is what it did. We know the history, so I'll not go on the history. But same time, I can recall the movie Tiranga, where Rajkumar and Nana Patekar was there. And one dialogue in Hindi was there when Rajkumar says, "Pehle mulaqat, fir baat, jarat padi to laat." And when Nana Patekar says, "No, pehle laat, fir mulaqat, jarat padi to baat." That means two school of thought. First, attack and see what is going to happen. And second one saying, first discuss, then we'll see what will happen. My dear friend, we are living in democratic country, but there was a situation where everyone was fighting for a struggle and discussion was going long and long. But person like Netaji come in front and decided enough talk. Our strategy will be totally different. First we will attack, we will win. And that's the reason we can hear a lot of freedom fighters, Shahid Bhagat Singh. Khudiram Bose, he never thought, if I do attack, if I'll go die, if I'll die one day, what will happen? Motto was, even I will die, some more Khudiram Bose will get born and they will fight for the country. My dear friend, I'm proud brother who is an army man, who also got chance to fight in Kargil war. There was a situation, I'm telling you the personal story. I got call in the morning and heard that he's in hospital. He was in coma. The thing is, he was on the war when his colonel told attack. Without discussion, he attacked and win that. My dear friend, discussion is not required. When time required, attack and win. Thank you very much.
That was amazing speech, Dr. Rupesh Singh. So I would like to call upon our next speaker, who is wearing blue, and distinguished Toastmaster Abhishek Mitra has told me that he is wearing a dark blue color shirt. So distinguished Toastmaster Abhishek Mitra, can you come on stage, please?
Changing a t-shirt takes only 15 seconds, so it's okay.
Oh.
At least for guys. Yeah.
Your topic is the future depends on what you do today. Distinguished Toastmaster Abhishek, the future depends on what you do today.
True. 4 days back, we had a small issue in our apartment. There was some water leaking due to some issue in the apartment beside us. When we discussed it with our neighbors, they said that we fully understand your issue, but you have to pay for it, not us, because you are facing the challenge. However, it was the leak from their end. We discussed and deliberated for 2 days and nothing came out. In fact, it got a little ugly. Eventually, what we did is we put white cement on the locations from wherever water was leaking. And you know what happened? The water actually started flowing back and it went to their apartment. And within 1 day, they fixed it and paid it themselves. Sometimes you have to take the right step and just wait. Future will do it for you. Since today's theme is about Republic Day and Netaji's birthday is also coming up, let me tell you one story about Netaji's life. He passed away before he could see India being independent. And another fact was the British government actually hid the news that Netaji was leading INA, Azad Hind Fauj, from the Indian audience, from the Indian diaspora. since most of British Army was actually 25 lakhs to be exact, was actually Indians. However, when the British publicly took trials of their 3 top commanders of Azad Hind Fauj, expecting that that would serve as a reminder to Indians to not stand up against them, the opposite happened. Indians got to know that Netaji actually led INA and led this amazing effort for India's freedom, and then they stood up. So whatever you've read in history, along with that, there is one additional chapter which is called the Red Fort case, where Netaji, after he passed away, he created our future. So my message is, please focus on doing good work now. Surely you'll get some result in future for yourself and the society. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Abhishek Mitra, for that wonderful speech. I forgot to share the screen. The quote that I gave you is from Gandhi ji.
That's okay.
Okay. Can I have our next volunteer who is wearing white? Why everyone just switch off their videos? Okay, I think Toastmaster Hekong. Would you like to try this table topic?
Oh, thank you, table topic master, Toastmaster. Thank you.
Welcome. We are happy that you came over here to attend our meeting today.
Thank you.
Topic for you is if the deaf are to hear the sound, has to be very loud. Toastmaster Hekong, if the deaf are to hear, the sound has to be very loud.
Wow. Oh, if the death very loud. Okay. Yeah, so thank you for giving me the chance to answer this phrase. If the deaf to hear the sound, they can be very happy. Yeah, I think, and then they have been depressed because they couldn't hear very beautiful sound like bird songs or some sound of streams. And then if they listen to some sound of nature, they will be very happy and they can be very healed by the nature. And then in my case, I really like to listen to bird song and the sound of a stream or the sound of the sea. And then I would like to let the deaf listen to that kind of nature sound if I can do that for them. And then so I hope all of the deaf in the world can listen to the good sound. This is my answer. Back to our table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hekong, for trying it. That was a good take, but if I would have been in that place, I would have taken the thing as if you want to make someone understand something, if you want to make yourself hear, you have to be very loud. It's not that you have to shout, but you can, like, you have to do something that gets not only in their ears, but the thing can get up to their heart. Anyways, can I have my next volunteer who is wearing green? No one is wearing green. Okay, fine. Then I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ayananshu as he has volunteered. Toastmaster Ayananshu, can we have you on stage? Am I the only one who is wearing green today? Toastmaster Ayananshu, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So your topic is man needs his difficulties because they are necessary to enjoy success. Toastmaster Ayananshu, Man needs his difficulties because they are necessary to enjoy success.
Okay. Somewhere inside out, we all are feminist, as we say. Now, when I say feminist, I would like to say the difficulties they face, and yet they are more than equal to what we assume a man to be. Well, a man generally, when he grows up in his childhood, or when they get into their jobs or something, in our Indian culture, we have seen or faced most of the time that they are privileged. Well, yes, somewhere someone is there, but then they are also there in numbers more getting the opportunities to get to the different levels or the positions they want to be. Now, how they can understand that this position or the privilege they are getting into is not the same for everyone. That is where the difficulties comes in. They need to understand that it's not the same for each and everyone. We live together in a society, and difficulties are something that keeps one grounded. This is something that is required for each one of us in general in life. In essence, if we say, if I can give examples, not only in real life like Sachin Tendulkar, or examples like difficult things they have gone through growing up. Even in the movie that we have seen of MS Dhoni, we have seen the difficulties he has faced to get the position he was in. But the same position, if we talk about a female cricketer like a Mithali Raj or someone like them, like a Goswami from Chuchuda, Indian cricketer, well, the difficulties she has faced. While growing up, no one allowed her to play cricket in the locality. Everyone looked up to her in a different way, but still she managed. Sorry, a call coming. So still she managed to do well and become the best in the world. That is the difference of difficulties we all face as a man, as a woman. I know in this sentence it makes sense that it is for everyone in general, but then the sentence in itself contains only man and not a woman. That is the start of difficulty for the other gender, if I say. Thank you, and over and out.
That was a wonderful speech, Toastmaster Ayananshu. So the table topic session is over, and I would just like to give one more information that India is also called as Bharat and Hindustan. And Hindustan was given during the Mughal Empire by the Mughals, and it is called as Hindustan since then. I just shared because I also get to know this today. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, lovely Toastmaster Shilpa Agarwal, for your wonderful information and wonderful table topics. I just want to add one thing on top of what our Toastmasters spoke during the table topics. There are still no official way to confirm that Netaji died in 1945 during the flight crash. It's probably one of the biggest mystery of this world, which is now never ever gonna get resolved because no one wants to get this resolved. With that, let's move on to the next section of our meeting and the most awaited one, which is the evaluation section. Before we move on to evaluation section, I very quickly want to touch upon the third thing which our constitution promises: equality. And my question to all of us today is, we are in a nation where still we need to give reservations to downtrodden. I'm absolutely not against it, but I'm saying, I'm talking about the pathetic state that we need to give reservation so that there can be equity, there can be equality among various sections of countrymen. Is that appropriate? Anyways, but we also have the another part of the story, and that's our Indian army. Irrespective of caste, creed, religion, from where you are, Indian army is one. And that's the biggest example of equality we have in front of us. And I know today we have a wonderful evaluator who is also going to show us how can we improve our meetings better. With that, I will like to invite our evaluator. Let us welcome on screen Toastmaster Shruti. Toastmaster Shruti, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashutosh, for this wonderful session that you just conducted and loved every bit of it. With this, we move forward to the evaluation section. I would request the first evaluator to come on stage, Toastmaster Reema Das, to deliver her evaluation for the speaker one. Over to you, Toastmaster Reema.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, General Evaluator, my fellow Toastmasters, dear guest, and to the particular speaker Toastmaster Abhijit. Excerpts from ABCD. When I heard about your speech title, I was just thinking what it could be, because that title was very catchy for me. I really liked it. And the way at the end, when you just decoded the full form of ABCD, Abhijit Bose Coding Diary, then it was nice. So kudos to you for that. The way you entered and you said, knock, knock. And I showed the way my eye went and I started looking up, and the audience also eyes went and they were thinking what you're up to. And the way you just started off, the confidence, the way you came, kudos to you for that. It was not looking like it was an icebreaker speech. It was something like that you have given speech and you're just coming and giving the speech. Full on 100%, you had that confidence. Next, your eye contact. I really liked throughout the meeting, your eye contact, it didn't went here and there. Your eye contact was with us. You were contacting with us and you were delivering your speech. So kudos to you for that. As you said that life has always provided us, we need to utilize it. And today I got that liberty to help you how to improve you in your speech. So there are some few recommendations from my side. That is, between the speeches, there were unnecessary pauses. So I would like to tell you, you could avoid those pauses, then your speech would go smoothly. Then second thing, emotions, the way when you were saying that when you scored 6 and you were not happy with it, you could have shown some sadness on your face. And also the time when your family, your relative, they were very happy when you scored, that happiness. So some emotions were missing in your speech. So I would really like you would work upon it. And obviously you have lots of speeches to give. It will help you whenever you will give your speeches in your future speech. But I really like also the stage choreography you have used, went forward, backward, and also your hand gesture when you were saying cherry on top, and you were just holding and you were sharing how you came to City of Joy. So kudos to you for that. And I will summarize my evaluation that I liked your catchy title, your eye contact, audience attention, your hand gesture and stage choreography. I would like you to improve in your unnecessary, just to avoid your unnecessary pauses, and your emotion, to show some emotions in your speech. All the best to you for your future speeches. Thank you. And over to you, Ma'am General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Reema, for this crisp evaluation. I have a few pointers for Toastmaster Abhijit, who delivered his icebreaker speech. As the first speech, I truly loved your performance. You used a stage. There was some vocal variety which can improve. There was usage of gestures and there was storyline. However, I feel moving forward, you need to have a crisp timeline to your content. Your speech moved within cities. First, it was started from Jamshedpur, then you moved to Calcutta. What I missed was, what are you up to now? What are you doing right now in the form of a city? I'm sure you mentioned somewhere about that you are in Calcutta still, or maybe tell us about what are your future, destinations where you would want to go. Second point that I have for you is that I found that the ending was a bit abrupt, where you typically ended and you just said, now coming back to the decode part of ABCD, it was this. I understand it was more of some like an episode of drama, but I was expecting something more out of it. So would request you to take a look into these suggestions and move forward. Over to you. Kudos. Moving to the evaluator, Toastmaster Rima, I appreciate the fact that you did not forget that this was the icebreaker speech and everyone should have given the standing ovation after the speaker was done. So kudos to you. And second point is that you mentioned and delivered the evaluation very, very well. You encouraged the speaker, which is appreciated, and that builds up the confidence to come up on stage time and again. Moving to our second evaluator, would request distinguished Toastmaster Abhishek to come up on stage and deliver the evaluator for our second speaker, Toastmaster Soumya.
We miss 100% of the shots that we do not take. And today, through your speech, Toastmaster Soumya, you reflected the true essence of your Toastmasters journey. You did not leave a single attempt of growing through Toastmasters in whichever organization you are a part of. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and Toastmaster Soumya in particular. What I loved about your speech in the beginning is the way you started. It had a cinematic effect when you give the beginning in this format: time, place, and maybe a date. That creates that effect. I'm sure everyone would have seen these kind of things, a flashback kind of a scene that starts in a movie and then you come to the current time. So that was really, really well done when you mentioned 2010 TCS Calcutta, like that. The second point that I loved about your speech and which perfectly tied with your project objective is your hand movements. From gestures like smoking the cigarette, chatter, to TTM giving a spotlight of a torch like this, everything was really, really well orchestrated. And the third thing that I loved about your speech is you chose a very simple topic which had a general purpose and a specific purpose. First, the general purpose was to inform and inspire about your Toastmasters journey. And towards the end, you gave a call to action for yourself that you want to complete a path and you want to grow in your journey, which actually served as a call to action for the audience also in the hindsight. Now, as a Toastmaster, you must have got and given a lot of feedback in your journey. And if you want to become that world champion speaker one day, I'm sure you will build up on those kind of feedback. So I'm here with 3 points of feedback for you. The first point is body language and gestures and voice modulation are two hands of your speech. Like we need two hands in our body to properly function. So on the voice modulation part, I think you could have improved on certain points. First, characterization. You could have actually added characterization by using Sanath and your parents' voice in a slightly different tone. That was missing. Also within voice modulation itself, I think you asked a rhetorical question, how it was, have you ever felt, something like that. And there was no pause after that. The pause could have been a little longer. Now moving on to the second bucket, I would say the stage movement. Even when you're sitting, you can use the depth of the stage. When you mentioned, I'm perspiring, you could have come towards the camera and you could have shown that gesture of scare on your face. That would have added some value. And regarding stage movement and gesture, I have another feedback. You had an unintentional gesture of looking towards the top right. Maybe that is something you can improve by practicing, not in front of the mirror like your good old days, but in front of the camera, recording yourself and seeing the recording, you will be able to catch such. And the third thing is drop the virtual background, because your hand movements were getting cut whenever they're moving out of your body frame. And I have intentionally dropped my virtual background to show you that sometimes we need to do these things and challenge ourselves, even if it is not very comfortable and cluttered. To sum it up, you had a cinematic intro, great hand movements, and your speech was on purpose. If you can improve on your vocal variety, on your stage movement, gestures, and on your dropping your virtual background, I'm sure one day you will be a podium finisher and will make all of us proud by being a world champion speaker. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Abhishek Mitra. I tend to forget the journey of 2 years that makes someone distinguished here in Toastmasters fraternity. So you covered almost everything. And I love the fact where you mentioned about not practicing with our good old way of using probably in front of a mirror, but instead of it, recording it on your phone and then seeing the recording. All of us tend to not see into the camera. Perhaps I'm also missing that eye, but one thing that I always affirm is for all the persons, all the people who are on screen, make sure that your full head is not cut, your hands are visible, and there is, if you're keeping a virtual background, make sure that it does not merges with your own clothing or your own existence here when you're sitting here. So that kind of creates a clutter in the eye of the visual people, right? So for the evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Abhishek, you covered everything. I do not have anything for you to add here. For the speaker, it totally tied in with the speech objectives. However, I would have expected with such good speech for you to stand up and deliver the speech, because that helps you to breathe. And when you would have shown the smoke part, you could have probably tilted a bit and just shown the smoke in this way. That would have, and things like that. These are micro gestures and micro expressions that help you translate. These are just for you. Maybe this will not be visible through our phone screens or laptop screens, but these help you to translate and be in that moment for a longer time. So with this wonderful speech, wonderful evaluation, moving to the third speaker and evaluation set that we have today, would request evaluator Toastmaster Anurag Jain to deliver his evaluation for Toastmaster Orithro Vishwas.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. When life gives you lemon, you make lemonade out of it. But my fellow speaker made a martini out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and everyone in this podium. The best thing that I loved about Toastmaster Orithro's speech was the usage of words. He described each and every place that he went in such a descriptive manner. It felt as if someone was reading out a fiction book and I was completely transported over there. The words like it was raining cats and dogs, the talented mechanic, knee-high shrubs, or approach road was so narrow. These words felt very therapeutic to me, to the listeners' ears. The second thing that I loved about Toastmaster Orithro's speech was the voice modulation. Whenever he was in a situation which was not expected, he had that shock, he had that enthusiasm to be there, but then he missed because the situation was different. The third thing that I loved about Toastmaster Orithro's speech is the message that he had for each and every one of us. Whatever situation is there, it is our attitude, our choices, and our way of looking at it that makes all the difference in the world. And be it his train station, be it the temple where he got disappointed, he didn't take it in that manner. He took it in the right spirit and he enjoyed his whole journey. However, Toastmaster Orithro, I do have certain recommendations for you as well. Now, you are a wizard of words. But the issue is when you are using these words, you also went on using words like then we went there, then we got there, anyways. So these words caused a bit of a hindrance in your delivery of the speech. When I am listening to speech of such a caliber, I honestly do not expect you to use these kinds of words to connect two different sentences again and again. The second thing, recommendation that I have for you is if you could control your laughter a bit, because I felt that there were a lot of inappropriate laughter. I know you already have lived that moment, but if I tell you a joke and before telling you a joke, I laugh, will that create an impact on the audience? I don't think so. So maybe you could control your laughter up until the end. The third recommendation is that I have is that I felt that you were not free while delivering your speech. It felt as if you had a crutch gesture towards the right side of your screen. So maybe if you could improve upon it, this would give a more better stage delivery and presence, which would be very soothing to the audience's eyes as well. In summation, I would say you are a great storyteller. You have the magic to transport us from where we are to your experience. Keep up that good work. If you could only improve upon, if only you could control your laughter a bit and improve a bit upon your stage choreography, I think so. You can take this speech to a much better level. Thank you, and over to you, Madam General.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anurag, for the crisp evaluation that you just mentioned. It was tight, it was to the point. However, I have two suggestions for you. Number one is that in a Toastmaster evaluation, we always say that show, never tell, and which you did very well. Perhaps if you were planning to show, you could have avoided the chaos of moving the chair to the back and then showing your gestures. Second thing that I want to mention is the fact that you try to start your summary of the speech, summary of your evaluation right before the red card, like between the transition of yellow to red, because otherwise what happens is you tend to miss out on some points that would summarize your evaluation very, very well. When you see the red card, we are in a hurry to wrap up the evaluation with some adjectives that are coming to our tongue and we just blurt it out. So these were the two things that I wanted to point out for you. Moving forward to the speaker, for the speaker, apart from what Toastmaster Anurag mentioned, I have two things for you. Number one is, both are about the visuals. Number one is to get a better, to sit in a space which has better lighting. Why? Because so that your expressions are visible, the audience is, the only way as an audience we can connect to you is through your face right now, right? So that your expressions are visible. Second thing is your specs. Because you were moving your face, your specs are having full reflection, and we cannot see your eyes and we cannot see half of it. Second thing is that if you're using a virtual background and if you have less lighting, what it does to it, it makes the screen overall very, very dull. All right. And I do not know why, if anyone else was also having the issues with the voice quality here, because I had certain issues with hearing his voice. So I do not have any other, addition to the evaluation what Toastmaster Anurag mentioned here. Moving forward, would like to ask the president or the vice president education, do we go forward with the voting for the speeches now, or timing, or what is the norm here?
We can take timer report.
We can take the timer's report and go with the tag roll.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So with this, we are moving to the part of this meeting which keeps our heartbeats at a jiffy. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Krishnesh, who will help us to let us know how much time have we consumed.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, and welcome. Good evening again to everyone. I'd like to share the timer's report now. As you can see on your screen. So all the prepared speakers were within time. All the evaluators were in time, and the table topic speakers, barring Toastmaster Ayanangshu, also were on time. With that, I'd like to hand the stage back over to our general evaluator, Madam Toastmaster Shruti.
Thank you so much for this crisp. Probably I love nachos a lot. For this short and sweet report. And with this, we move forward to the R counters report. Can we have Toastmaster Amrish on stage and deliver his report to us, please?
Good evening once again. Toastmaster of the day, Asutosh, has spoken R 3 times and repetition once. Toastmaster Shruti, as general evaluator, has used R multiple times, Om 2 times, or multiple times, So 2 times, and You Know 2 times. Toastmaster Rima used R 2 times. Toastmaster Abhijit has used repetition 2 times. DTM Abhishek Mitra used R 2 times. Toastmaster Soumya used multiple times. Toastmaster Aritro used multiple times, so once, and repetition once, and other speakers were flawless. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amrish, and for this intricate report, because it takes a lot to listen not just the words, but what's happening between the words, right? So it takes a lot of time. Probably next time when you play a role or anyone plays the role of an hour counter, I would appreciate if you could tell us how can we reduce the number of hours, right? So it helps us to move forward with the lesson in the next meeting. Moving forward, we have the next and the third role player, who is the grammarian. Would love to hear your report, Toastmaster Kshitij.
Good evening once again. Well, talking about the good uses of English, today the members and the users of the virtual podium have been liberal enough to use words like ineffable, picturesque, heavenly beautiful, illumination, intricate, acumen, and rhetorical. Some quotes have been used like wisdom is entertaining, so be an entertainer. We need to utilize life at its very best. Now, some clever speakers used alliteration, for example, contemplating for completion and wizard of words. Talking about some not so good uses of English, somebody used you have to think and decide about today. But the correct form is you have to think and decide today. Somebody else used it started to difficulty, but the correct form is it started to get difficult. And oh dear, talking about the word of the day, there has been magnanimous, generous, benevolent, beneficent, and I am forgetting the synonyms. The word of the day has not been used once, not twice, not thrice, but 22 times during the whole meeting. So a big clap for that. Toastmaster Ashutosh used it 13 times. Great job. Toastmaster Soumya used it once. Toastmaster Anurag used it once by Toastmaster Aditya, once by DTM Abhishek, and 5 times by Toastmaster Kshitij by me. That was in my report. Thank you, and over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. Perhaps this is the maximum number of times that I have heard and seen and witnessed the usage of word of the day. 22 times. That's phenomenal. That culminates the usage of word of the day for, say, 22 meetings. So kudos. Wonderful. So with this, and I want to appreciate all the time. I want to appreciate Grammarian, the wonderful idea of using the word of the day in his virtual background, which means that you just need to keep your video on. You just need to see me and use word of the day as many times as you want. Perhaps that's what helped us. So wonderful, Toastmaster Kshitij, very innovative. With this, we move forward to the table topics. The table topics, the first speaker was Dr. Rupesh. Do we have him? Okay, perfect. So Dr. Rupesh, what joy is to hear you speak on a table topic, because what I see you when I hear you in a table topic is that you do not stop speaking. You speak, perhaps at times your startings, your initiation is slightly abrupt, but you speak, you make sure that you come back to the topic, you weave it, and then you end it properly. For example, when you mentioned about 2 dialogues from the movie, and when you mentioned about Pehle Laat, then Baat, and then Mulakat, and something like that. And I love the fact that you were able to bring in something from Bollywood, bring in something from history, and put it together and add in something from your own personal life. That is something that is very important, to be on stage and think on your feet as a table topic speaker. However, to challenge yourself, I would request you to, when you're in a table topic, try to, while you're starting the topic, maybe it's abrupt, but try to stick to one thing and revolve around it. And try to go back when you towards ending, go back to the first thing that you started, maybe abruptly, maybe nicely, but go back there. So it somewhat of you appears in sync. Whatever is not in sync is just known to you. All right. And second suggestion that I have for you is to always translate any language other than English that you use in any speech or table topics into the English language. So with this, we move on to the second speaker, who was distinguished Toastmaster Abhishek. That was the future depends on what you do today. Indeed, the future depends on what I do today. And that's what I'm doing today. Very well curated speech with the topic, leaking of water, and then curated with the story from the past. So two stories coming in together like a plait made up of thick hair, and that made me understand the whole topic very nicely. However, I missed the summary somewhere, which could go back to the topic. The future depends on what you do. You mentioned about the story from your house where water was leaking. You mentioned about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's story, but I missed the story which could have brought to the topic again. So to challenge yourself, would request you to summarize the table topics in a crisp way. Moving forward, Toastmaster Haikyung, am I pronouncing your name right? Perfect. So thank you so much. Welcome to this meeting, and thank you so much for participating and being that sport. So kudos to you. And your topic was, if the deaf were to hear the sound has to be very, very loud. And you mentioned something about the deaf people, how they are depressed and how they have not heard the nature sounds. Perhaps you misunderstood the topic, which is fine. But it would have been great if you would have kept on talking and yapping about the deaf people in their lives, because who knows, at times we misunderstand the topic, but if you are able to speak it and bring it to the point which has a stunning ending, people are totally, in awe of you and your speech. So as a table topic speaker, you do not stop speaking, and you make sure that you end the speech with a stunning ending. So kudos to you, Toastmaster Hackyong. And with this, we come to the end of the table topic speeches. Fourth speaker, who was Toastmaster Ayang Nanshu. Man needs his difficulties because they are necessary to enjoy life or something around it. Okay, all right. So what I understood from your speech was that you started with, you heard the first word man, and you started with the word feminist, and then you gradually took it to how it's important to understand your difficulties, how it's important to value your difficulties and move forward in life with those difficulties, and be grateful to those difficulties. And then you also mentioned about two cricketers and how they have been having a difficult life, but they have been able to overcome their fears and challenges and have been the star that they are today. What I missed in your speech was the connection of everything coming together. All right. I understood the word feminist, which to me was slightly abrupt as a beginning, but it all made sense when you ended it, when you said that the word in the quotation was man, and which is why I was explaining all these things, right? Where you mentioned about it. So I totally got it when you ended it. It was stunning, no matter. But I would request you to weave it closer as a table topic, because you are able to bring in different pieces together for a topic like this. So to challenge yourself, would request you to weave in stories which culminate into one single ending and leave us all with a CTA or, moving forward. So with this, we have come to the end of table topic speeches. And now coming to all the role players that we have had in this meeting, would begin with the role of the SA. The meeting began on time at 4:01, and the SA introduced the meeting very well. I noticed and I appreciate that everyone has their roles displayed before their name. So this makes very easy for everyone to identify who is playing what. Coming to the president, they mentioned about a story and introduced and set the stage very, very well. However, I assume that there are no guests, Mr. President.
There was only one guest that time.
Okay, only one guest at that time. So I would request you to also, are you able to hear me? Okay. I would also request you to maybe put in some announcements in place. The contests are up. There might have been some internal events going on that makes and as an outsider, I come in from a different club. As an outsider, I see that there's so much going on in your club, and you all are, knit together as a club members, and that gives that feeling of community. So you could have announced that, you could have taken that space here. That would have helped. No matter what, your presidential address was fabulous. Moving forward to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashutosh, the theme that you have chosen is clearly prominent because of 26 January and Netaji's birthday. And you had the full history, you had the constitutional rights, you explained everyone about various values, and you also divided your Toastmaster speech, TMOD speech, into various sections where you made a congruent relationship between your topic and various sections of Toastmasters meeting, which is the way how it should be done. So kudos on that part. However, I would request you to include a bit of interaction in your Toastmaster journey, in your TMOD journey. That helps all of us to stay on our feet, just as table topic masters. Perhaps you ask, Krish, did you study the 6 rights that we are given in our constitution? Or maybe you ask Toastmaster Amrish, did you ever flunk in your civic subject? Some random questions. Yeah, he did, Krish, I know. And you passed out with flying colors. So with this, that would help you to set an interaction bridge with the audience. Second thing that I have for you is that you apologized quite a few times after you you announced the names wrong. So it's all right. It's all right to announce the names wrong. No need to apologize time and again, because we all do this. All right. So with this, I appreciate the role that you have played and the topic that you've played. So kudos to you. And you had wonderful introductions for everyone. So keep it up. Coming back to the timer, our counter, no suggestions. You all were wonderful. For the counter, I've given the suggestion, Grammarian, no suggestions. Moving forward to the table topic master. Table topic master, Toastmaster Shilpa. You clearly, the clarity that you came up with on stage, I loved it. I want all the table topic masters to have this clarity that I will be choosing just 4 table topic masters with this condition. So, and this is not funny, because in the table topics are the places where we lose time, and you understood the critical point of time here, because we had 3 speeches. We started at 4 and we would have wanted to end by 6. So wonderful there. And you also added 1 sentence of summary after every table topic speech, which is the way it should be done. So kudos on that. No suggestions there. Keep it up, keep coming back. So with this, we have come to the end of the general evaluation section, and would now I hand over the stage back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Before I do that, I want to say thank you so much for having me here. You all have been a wonderful, wonderful team of speakers and evaluators and role players, and I have truly enjoyed playing my role here. So with this, I hand over the podium back to Toastmaster Ashutosh. Over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Shruti. Let's keep it going for our General Evaluator, please. Thank you so much for such a wonderful, elaborate evaluation. It will certainly help us in becoming better and better as we move forward. Before we move forward, just one request. There's a voting link which is on the chat, and I will request everyone to give your opinion and vote for our best performers. I know it's me who is standing between, it's a Saturday evening, and I'm standing between you and your martini. And I don't want to be here for very, very long. Before I hand it over to our affable leader, our president, Toastmaster Amrish, just a few lines which I want to say, which were written by our late Prime Minister Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee. गीत नया गाता हूं, गीत नया गाता हूं, गीत नया गाता हूं, गीत नया गाता हूं, टूटे हुए तारों से फूटे बासंती स्वर, झरे सब पीले पात, कोयल की कुहुक रात, प्राची की अरुणिमा में रेख देख पाता हूं, गीत नया गाता हूं, गीत नया गाता हूं. I'm absolutely sure this constitution written by our forefathers, our founding fathers, will help us in achieving, in giving justice, liberty, and equality to all of us. As long as we are conscious about this justice, liberty, and equality for us is as important as justice, equality, and liberty for everyone around us. So it's not just, it's the preamble is not only for me, it's for we, the people of India, for everyone who is in India. With that, I will like to hand it over back to our President, Toastmaster Amrish. Thank you, Toastmaster Amrish.
Thank you, Ashutosh, for such a wonderful session. And we had 3 amazing speech today and amazing evaluation with very crisp table topic session. And I hope everyone has enjoyed the session at the fullest. And I thank you, Toastmaster Shruti Srivastava, for joining us and doing GE session as superb. What I can say, it is a superb session. Every speaker and role player has learned from you today. And I also thank you, DTM Abhishek Mitra, our past division director, for joining us. And I also want to invite you both in our 100th meeting on 12th Feb. We have a 100th meeting celebration on that day. And I want you people to join there with us to celebrate with us. And one another announcement is that we have our ISC International Speech Contest at club level on 12th March. We will have our club level ISC at 12th March. Everyone please note down. And I request everyone to please switch on the video so that we can take a picture of this meeting. Please switch on the video. Chandra, please, can you take?
Yeah, can we have Ashutosh, Soumya, Shilpaji,
Rahul?
Rahul. Yes. Okay, I think so. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, so that was a salute. Wait, once again, I'll do that. Salute, salute. Okay.
I did it. Acha.
Okay. So we have it.
Man, everyone is saluting. Please take the photo.
I took the picture. I took the picture, guys. I took the picture.
Great job.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Anurag, for taking the picture.
Yeah, please stop the recording.
No.
Okay.
No.
We have the results with me. So for category 1 among the TMOD, G and table topic master, our winner is the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashutosh Munra. In category 2 among the timer, counter and grammarian, the winner is grammarian Kshitish Sresht. In table topic masters, DTM Abhishek Mitra is the winner for today's table topic session. In evaluation section, the winner is again DTM Abhishek Mitra. And in speaker, among the 3 speakers, the winner is Toastmaster Soumya. I will congratulate all the winners for today's meeting, and I hope everyone has enjoyed the meeting. We have few guests for whom we have not, with whom I cannot talk in the beginning. So we have one guest from South Korea who has joined us, Toastmaster Haekung, if I have pronounced correctly. And can you please say something about you?
Okay. Thank you so much for having me in this meeting. Thanks to our Rima and
yeah, Rima is there.
Thank you for trying, ma'am.
Yeah, so Shittizi, and then Thanks to Rima and Shitiji, I was able to join your club, and then I felt that your club is so professional, and then the meeting was systematical with very talented members, and then especially I was very impressed with our great speakers, and then with our great rule takers, and then I'm very happy I'm very happy to be with you guys, and if I have some free time this Sunday, on Sundays I will visit more often. Thank you. Back to our president, Amishi. Yeah,
Amrish, Toastmaster. Thank
Amrish.
you. Thank you so much. Now we have guest Rahul Bhuwania. Can you tell me from whom you know come to know about Toastmaster and what you're doing?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I would like to thank you first that I really love the concept of this Toastmaster, and I would like to say that first this concept I learned from the president, Mr. Amish Bhuwania itself, and he elaborated me that in this platform, not one only can learn how to speak in a better way, rather he can learn how to manage the things, how can he handle the like some managerial situation, he can handle it out. So I really love the concept which are going on in your platform, and I'm looking forward to continue with it.
Thank you, Rahul. And
thank you.
I would like to know from Toastmaster Shruti about her experience of today's meeting.
Hello, Toastmaster Amrish. Love being a part of this meeting, as I've already stated here, and it was great pleasure to be evaluating such wonderful evaluators and speakers. And I truly enjoy coming here, and I would love to be here again. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shruti. I will look forward to you in our next meetings also. And we have DTM Abhishek Mitra with us. I want to know his views also. You are on mute. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was wearing the headphones the other way. So anyway, yeah, that's I really enjoyed the meeting. I have started visiting my friends' clubs a lot more often now. So Shruti can't complain. I have gone to SLTM twice. Similarly, Krish, Seemaji can't complain. Have come to VMC also twice recently. So really enjoyed the experience. This is usually a time when I do the most important thing of my day, and that is napping. But giving myself time, staying awake. I had a light lunch today, so I was really preparing. So preparation goes before the meeting, so please remember that for Toastmasters. So that's there. And hiking, just a suggestion for you. If you have seen Django Unchained, so in that movie Jamie Foxx says that the name is Django, the D is silent. So same goes for Kshitij. The name is Kshitij, K is silent. So just an update for you. Okay. Thank you. Back to you, Amrish.
Thank you, Abhishek. It was great to have you with us in today's session. Now I officially close this meeting and stop the recording.